Every action in For Honor has an equal and opposite reaction. As dynamic as the combat is, there are certain responses that you can expect to follow your decisions. Today, we're going to talk about the different types of defensive actions players can take and the potential reactions they cause. Blocking is one of the first things I got comfortable with in For Honor. It's a minigame that determines whether you live or die. Match the direction of your guard with the direction of your opponent's attack and you live. Fail to do so and you get your head chopped off. Thing is, just when I started getting good at blocking even the fastest string of attacks, people started breaking my guard. Guard breaks are the answer to defensive players. When a vanguard, heavy, or hybrid is trying to turtle their way to victory, give them a nice slap and make them stop. However, if your opponent's played For Honor for more than a few hours, they'll probably be able to counter your guard break with a guard break of their own, and then you'll be back to square one. But that's where things start to get interesting. Once you've mastered the art of blocking, the natural progression is to learn how to parry, because you can't block everything and you can't win fights with defense alone. So, you're standing face to face with a kensei and they're swinging their big ass sword, then suddenly he glows a fiery red, which means his attack is unblockable. You could move out of the way, which is a solid idea, or you can try to redirect some of that energy and open him or her up for a counterattack. A parry is a great way to punish your enemy for being too aggressive, but just like blocking, it's not an end-all be-all solution. A feint is the act of canceling a heavy attack. If your opponent is just looking for blocks, a feint might not yield much. It'll cause confusion, sure, but changing block directions is almost instantaneous. On the other hand, that guy that's been parrying your top heavy attack for 4 rounds straight, if you feint your attack, he'll mess up his parry, which will give you additional attack options. The last of our defensive actions is the dodge. A dodge is a dodge. When you see an attack coming, you can quickly step to the left, right, or back to avoid it. It's a low-risk maneuver. On the other hand, a deflect is something special that not every character can make use of. By dodging directly into an attack at the perfect moment, the Orochi, Peacekeeper, Berserker, and Valkyrie will deflect and be given the option for an immediate counterstrike that can deal some severe damage. As potent as deflects are, just like parries, it has a strict timing, and if you throw your body on an opponent's sword too often, you'll wind up looking silly. Blocking, guard breaking, parrying, feinting, dodging, deflecting, and maybe even fliggle-floggling all come together to make sure that every fight in For Honor is riddled with nuance. Not every player likes to make use of their full roster of options in the same way. Moreover, as hard as we try to be wild and unpredictable, we all develop patterns of attack that can be exploited. The best way to win in For Honor is to figure out those patterns as quickly as possible and shut them down before your opponent has time to adapt.